Welcome back to another loose nut printing video. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Ellis's printing tuning guide to do pressure advance. So it's pretty straightforward. Let's get right into it. First thing we're going to be doing is setting up the guide for our test. So we're just going to go over this to make sure that everything is correct. First thing we're going to change is the bed size, and we'll just simply increase it to our current bed size. We're going to knock down the travel speed a little bit here. Don't need to go crazy on the speed. The multiplier, you can find that in your slicer. Mine was just simply 1. I haven't changed it yet. Z-hop I put at 0.4, so bring it up high enough to avoid the print on moves. Print speed I just left alone at 100. Then layer height I left at 0.2, and fan speed I left at 0.2. Acceleration I did not change it, I just left it to what the config is, since we did the input shaper last video. And now we're just going to change this to our start macro that we have in our print config. And the one for mine is just simply print or start underscore print, all in capital, and that will trigger my print start macro. And now with that change, we can simply tell it to not worry about G28 or add in the heating, because start macro already has that in there. And then we're just going to change this to our end macro, and that's just end underscore print, and that is literally our print test guide set up for the printer to do pressure vents. So one thing, if you change the setting and you click on the file name, if the 3D preview changes, it will be a sign that you did something wrong. So I didn't do anything wrong by the looks of things, and just simply downloaded it. Now with it downloaded, we can simply go over to the printer config, because there's a couple of things that gotta be added here. Since I never added them in the beginning, and I was looking at the Clipper configs, and there is max extrusion cross section was going to be needed, because if it wasn't added, there would have been an error, movement speed or something like that. So now with all that done, we can simply upload the test print to the printer, and we can now tell it to print it. Now with the printer heated up, we can let the print start. You can see I had to readjust the Z offset a couple of times just to not have the nozzle so buried in. I've been having that issue with this printer where one print it will start okay, next print it will be too far, then the third print will be too close. It's never actually staying good. But back to the print. You can see as the print is going along, it is changing the pressure advance smooth time, and it will do that all the way through the print. As you've seen, it started off at 0.00, and now it's going to work itself all the way up to 0.08 or 0.08, yeah, and then repeat itself for all the layers. It's a 3-layer test, so it's not that long. Nothing like the input shaper test that was last week's video. That was a lot of headaches. For someone that likes to build and isn't really into coding, that was a feat in itself to do. But luckily enough, this one was fairly straightforward, minus the printer doing its usual hiccups here and there. But once the print gets finished here, well, you can pop it up off the bed and take a gander at the results. And then results are a little bit hard to see just because of the squish on the bed. Now with the test, you can see the little gaps I was talking about, and once you get up to 0.04, I know that's a little bit hard, you can see that there's no gaps, and the point on the V is actually pretty good. So we're going to use that one. So with now knowing the input shaper that we want, we need to go grab the command for the printer config, and that's just simply pressure advance equals and then the number that we figured. So we'll just add that to our printer config in our extruder, or under the extruder section. And I accidentally messed up here. I put 4 when it should have been 0.04. So now we can simply save that, and with it saved, we can now give her a test run, or I should say a test print, to see how the input shaper and pressure advance is going to work. And as you've seen, that's the first time the printer's done a purge line. I found a really nice and simple mackerel to do a purge line. I'll add the link to that in the description, along with Ellis's tuning guide that I use for this video. And as the print's going, it's working pretty good. We're still getting that texturing issue in the side. But while I was doing this test print, I noticed something while looking at it after getting off the bed. You'll see here that I'm now questioning my thought of weight being an issue. I'm now going back on that and going back to an original thought that it might actually be the bearings that might be causing this weird texturing issue that we're seeing in the side of the print. Because I did 2 prints just to make sure that it wasn't just a fluke that it did this. And both prints, exact same spot, had the same result. So if one does it and 2 do it, then it's obviously something to look into. And while it's unusual to think that that actually might be the issue, and if it is the issue, it's going to take a few months to get the parts, just because the sheer cost on the little guys. So get this print right away done here, getting all the way to the top. Not bad bridging and everything on the window sills, so really happy with the cooling and around the little porthole on the front of the bow of the boat. Realistically, at the print speed the printer's going and everything, the detail, if we could get rid of the orange peel or texturing issue, this would be a really nice machine that could run at a decent speed. So now with the test print done, we can simply pop it off the bed, and as I was saying, there's the texturing issue, and right there you can't really see it too well in the video, but I'm going to pop up a photo here for you guys with 2 circles on it. You can see here that there's no texturing issue. It is actually smooth. So I'm thinking the bearings, the little ball bearings, are actually getting into the right position and holding it and getting rid of the oscillation that's happening. And you can see this side's also got a bit of that texturing issue, but not as bad as the opposite side. So not sure, but that's it for this week. I'll catch you guys next week. I might have something a little different, but catch you again.